my pants on the ground.
It started going. Let's watch Chris climb up here.
Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground, gold in your mouth.
Okay,
I could have definitely set that up a little bit differently. Does this work?
Yeah,
it's good.
I think so. You got a pretty scene.
That's more. Oh no, now it's up my butt. Ah, that's cool. Ah, it's a little rest.
Yeah.
There's a rest in front of my butt area.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that comfortable?
It's comfortable.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? We've been gone a while.
Yes.
Been doing life things and.
We took a little spring break.
Yeah.
We have, last week I believe was our 1 year of Chris and Sis.
Yes, it was.
Woo!
Got the reminders.
Yeah.
Set that wherever.
Pocket.
Pocket. So, yeah, come back in style.
Yeah, Chris and I we haven't been able to see each other the past couple weeks too. We've been going through some life stuff, so.
Life's been busy. She moved.
Yep.
I'm still sorting some things out. It's just been, life's been life, but we're still learning our way through things and working on them, and that's why we're back.
Definitely.
Yep. So our subject today was, finding your power?
Finding your power.
Finding your power.
That's something we've both, we riffed a little bit before the video and come to realize that we're both in that phase right now. It's easy to lose it if you're not being mindful and if you allow others to, take the reins.
Yeah.
You have to have that self-confidence and that self-assurance that you are worthy enough to take a hold of your own life.
100%. I think we've both taken steps in that direction lately, mostly just cutting out things that are toxic. Even people that you're close to can bring toxic things to your life, and that's where it's important to draw boundaries. Doesn't mean throw the whole person out. It just means to a certain point you gotta draw a line. This serves me, this doesn't, this treatment is absolutely unacceptable, and you can love these people, but there's always got to be lines and boundaries with everybody in your life, and it's an important thing not to allow yourself to be walked over in that situation. And
I can definitely see how I'm somebody, my attachment style has been anxious attachment most of my years, so that means when I form a relationship with somebody, I get pretty attached to them and I'll pretty well do everything I can in my power to make sure we keep that attachment. But the more that I'm growing and healing myself, the more I notice how unhealthy that is, and I've been moving more towards a secure attachment. So unfortunately, sometimes that means people close to us, we have to reevaluate the way that we navigate life with each other.
Make sure you put your important things first and make sure you have your own stuff taken care of. Is that kind of the page you're getting to there?
Definitely. Yeah. It's love them, but also love yourself. And hear their words, but hear your own words. Your body talks to you and it tells you, your intuition tells you, this feels right, this feels wrong. It's important that we listen to that.
Word. Healthy relationships are the name of the game from here on out. We are the generation that are killing the curses that we've been handed, and we were born with a lot of these curses. Trauma is transferred.
Yeah.
Upon birth. We were talking about this last week. You had brought it up. Mm-hmm. That even when you're born, if your mother had gone through a lot of things, it's just kind of wired into you.
Even while you're in the womb. I was reading a new book. It's called It Didn't Start With You. I cannot tell you the author right now, but if you look that up, you will find the book. And it goes over trauma and how it is passed on through generations. And something I learned from the book was from the mother and from the father, there are different things that are passed on. And a lot of the emotional things your mother goes through are passed on to you. I figured out that I have PTSD, in my 20s, but the more I actually spend around my mother and my grandmother and the way that they've, handled things in their lives too, I'm realizing I think they've had it too. Just they were not aware of it, and also their generations were not as likely to talk about their feelings as our generations are.
Absolutely. They came from the day and age where if you had a problem, you just pushed it away and you'd keep on moving forward, you stay strong. But strength isn't in resilience or just pretending that there's nothing wrong all the time and just buckling down and getting it done. We're here to enjoy our lives. We're here to enjoy this journey. I firmly believe that the purpose of life on earth is to grow and learn and understand and become better, be better for the people around us. So stand up for yourself and be strong, and it's just a better life that way. Find
honestly
peace.
it's interesting too, because when you grow up quite the way that we did, we get addicted to different types of stress hormones because that's what's familiar to us. So when we meet people throughout our journey, there's something called trauma bonding. We can trauma bond to other individuals, and it's because they feed like us the same hormones that we received when we were going through the trauma. So as you're going through your healing journey too, something I've realized recently is like I was addicted to those stress hormones, and that felt normal to me. It felt right. So in those moments, I was not identifying what was my intuition and what was actually healthy.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And like when I was going through some hard things recently, I started, it's like an epiphany. Like it showed up, and I was like, okay, like this is something that I've been working on, something that I don't want a part of my life anymore. I want to be healthy, I want to heal, and I want my voice to be heard, and I want my voice to matter. And
we're finding the ability to be authentically ourselves and not feel bad about it for the first time. And I think that's a situation a lot of people get tied up in, because I have a lot of conversations about that, And like when you're going through life and you're just getting things done the way you should, you're on time, you're taking care of everything, but you are still stressed out about it and you feel like you have to be, like, it's a really uncomfortable feeling, but for some reason you feel safe, in that stress. And that's something I've been working on a lot lately is, I don't need to feel bad for being myself, for being who I am, because I'm on time, I'm getting my work done, I'm managing everything that I need to take care of, and there's no reason for me to be stressed out or feel bad about it. There's no reason that I shouldn't be able to say, hey, this is what it is.
Because if those people really do love and care about you, they're going to respect you and the fact that you are worthy of speaking your voice and following through with it.
You worked for who you are. You've earned who you are. So it's okay to be who you are. And the people around you need you to be. That's the even bigger
if
thing.
they're not supportive of that, are they really somebody that you need to be around?
Facts.
Like, and that goes along with attachment styles too. Like,
or don't stunt your growth.
Yeah. What is your attachment style? How do you think about how you attach to other individuals and ask yourself, is this like the way I want to live my life? Is this like, are these the kind of relationships I want to form moving forward? Is something that brings me joy, or is it something that brings you pain? Suffering is a part of human existence, and like once we realize that and we look at it, there is a way to accept the fact that you're going to have suffering, but there's also a way to decrease the amount of suffering that you go through, because you're mindful of where you want your life to go and who you want your life to be around.
And a lot of that's just becoming comfortable with who you are and being okay with who you are, because it's okay to be who you are. You need to be who you are. You can't be somebody else. You can never be somebody else. You can't think like somebody else. You have to do you. And the more comfortable you get with that, the better it is, really.
Yeah.
Because I'm finding that for the first time in my life, and it is beautiful. I have bliss. I have peace. And I've done a lot of work on that this week, too. Just know, this is the boundary, Stand up for yourself, for the people you love, the people around you, and do the right thing, like, if that's who you are.
It's a part of the soul journey, though, too. Like, Chris and I, we're spiritual people. I don't necessarily do religion. So this is our take on things. But something I've heard recently about like the soul journey is you do not forget what you've learned in other lifetimes. And that's why some people seem like they're, old souls at a young age. Then there comes a time in your life where you may experience what is called a spiritual awakening. And that's an incredible experience to have. It can be incredibly painful too, because you are waking up to the ruse that you're seeing around you. Like, you're seeing things for how they are, the way that society is. Like, to me, what I've realized, I do not care if I have a bit of chunk on me. I actually prefer it.
I'm down with the thickness.
And the thing is growing up, I paid attention so much, oh my gosh, if I get with somebody and I'm skinny, what's gonna happen if I end up gaining weight? And I would worry about that. and I wasn't loving myself, and I wasn't like, this is Julia, this is her body, and like, these are my genetics, and like, this is how I'm made, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I used to feel that way too. I'd be like working or something, I'd look down and be like, oh no, I can see my belly a little bit, I need to suck it in so everybody thinks I'm fit. And like now I'm like, man, look at me, I'm comfortable.
You got some cake.
I ain't even tripping. Somebody last week was like, I can tell you've put on a little weight. I was like, yeah, man, I have. I ain't
But
even
like,
mad.
whatever body type you are too, it doesn't matter if you're skinny, if you're with a chunk, if like whatever you are, like what feels good to you? How does your body feel good to you without having those like perspectives of societal norms put out there?
This is how you should be. This is how you should act. This is what you should feed into. This is what we want you to do. No, man, because peace, inner peace, if you are authentically yourself, you bring something else to the world. I was talking last week about this is a little bit off of finding your own power. No, this definitely ties into finding your own power. I was talking last week to this dude that's traveled the world. Real cool guy. His name was Chris. I met him at the bar for the first time, and we were having a good conversation. And he was telling me he's traveled the world, you know, and this and this and this is wrong. And outside of America, you really see, you know, the flaws and what's really wrong with the system in a way that you never can being here, because we're tailored in a certain manner. You know, we're shown certain things. And I was like, man, honestly, I used to study on that and be aware of that and just pay so much attention to what's wrong with the world and what I would do to fix it. But there's nothing I can do until more people wake up and more people start to stand up and see the light and the love in the world, and that we can't fix this through hatred, war, and anger. And, you know, that does not fix things. And he was like, well, why are you waiting? You're waiting for them? You sound like you got a leader inside of you, so why are you allowing yourself to be a follower? And this whole time I hadn't realized it. So that was another thing when I was already on a journey this week of, you know, waking myself up and finding the things in my life that I'm just, enough's enough. You know, it's time to find peace. I've not been at peace with that part of myself because, you know, I need to speak the truth.
The time is now. Also, you can start with the circle around you. We can't all save the world, but we can save ourselves, and we can wake up.
Do the best you can and feel good about what you bring to the world, because we're not supposed to all fit in a box. We're supposed to be individuals. Every one of us has something different we bring to the table, and that is what's beautiful about it. Not getting along with each other because, you know, we pretend that we believe in the same things. Not avoiding conversations because we might have differing opinions. It's respecting each other for our differences, and that's what we've been taught against, and that's where our power comes from, not just for ourselves, but as a collective. Bring together the beauty in the differences in the world. That tree doesn't look a thing like that tree, but I bet their roots underground are just vibing it up. Hey man, we both drink water, and that's cool.
And we're all connected. That's something I didn't understand for many years until I started the spiritual awakening, and like I'm still trying to understand it. But when I say we're all connected, you know, we're in the 3D world. We can't see all the energy that surrounds us, but let's say that you're not as aware. Like back in the day, I wasn't as aware of energy surrounding me. So I'd be around a lot of beings that vibrated at a lower vibration. And so I would kind of get sucked into that too. We're all connected. There is a difference between knowing yourself with that though, because you can be around beings that are at a lower vibration. But if you believe in yourself, where you're headed and like how you're feeling, you can keep your vibration going while helping others, you know, raise up their vibration.
Word.
It doesn't feel good to be stuck in the lower vibrations. There's a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. What are you looking at?
Nothing, you're good.
Okay.
I'll tell you if you're not.
A lot of heartache and suffering, and you know, one of my niches in life is I found out I'm a healer, and I love doing that through massage therapy, through being a Reiki master, but also just actually genuinely caring about the individuals around me and how they feel, making
Real
sure they
care.
have food and water, and like that's also something. I think the United States is a lot different. I don't know if any of you have heard of Ram Dass. Have you?
Yeah.
I watch his YouTube videos like a lot, and I just bought his book Be Here Now. But he talks about his journey going from being this like psychology professor in the United States, and like he had everything. He had money, the works, the world, like he had everything he could have wanted, but something was missing, you know? So what did he do? Like
Himself.
he gave it all up and he just started following this guy he met through, I think it was India, and he started going to temples, and then he started meditating, and he fought every way of his journey to becoming a guru. Like he fought it, and he was mad and he was angry, and each time he would be left alone to figure stuff out on his own. But eventually, like, he does figure it out, and he finds himself, and he starts letting go of suffering. And when he got to this one temple, he's like, this man tried to give away his car, and or this dude's car, and he's like, you can't just give away his car like that, because here in America, we're like, this is our stuff, all right? But he later found out during the journey too, is they provided everything for him. His bed, his food, his water, like they just cared about the individuals around them instead of saying this is mine and this is mine. We're all human. We all deserve the basic things that we need for survival because we are all connected. But yeah, I love Ram Dass. He's so good.
A journey of love and selflessness, finding himself.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. That's why I was looking into minimalism a little bit quite a while back. But like, I don't need a lot of things. I'm really content, you know? I'm happy with what I have, and I don't want a lot. I don't want to have a town. I don't want to own the world. All I want for my life, and all I've ever wanted for my life, is peace.
Yeah.
And to just enjoy it happily with other people that enjoy it the same way that I do. And I know that, and I've always known that about myself, you know? I don't need a lot. I just want my share. I want enough to get by, you know?
Definitely. I know. I came out of I've been in a dark space the past month. Those are growth pains. On top of having a stress disorder, like it can be a personal hell for a little bit, but looking at it with opportunity to grow out of all that, understanding myself at a deeper level, I got to look at a tree this morning that had new buds starting on it, and I realized that's what I want to be able to do.
You shed every year, and then you regrow, and you grow stronger and more beautiful.
I just want to be able to notice these things, though. Like, I want to be able to sit down and, like, observe nature and, like, see how it works, because it works much like we do.
It does.
The world that we've built doesn't, what's the word?
We're not mindful of that. It takes us away from our organic...
It does not reflect.
There you go. Okay.
It does not reflect what, like, we are animals too. We're mammals. But the societal world that we have built up, I mean, you go to work, you get gas for your car, you buy things, you go home, you make dinner with your family, and you watch TV, and, like, that's an American life that I've seen portrayed through TV.
Absolutely.
But what if there is life so much deeper than that, and it's more fulfilling, and
the structures, the schedules,
yes.
the everything being so particular all the time. We practice distraction.
Yeah.
It's important to be in the moment and take the time to enjoy the nature.
Yeah.
And definitely soak in how we relate to it, because this world is not ours. It does not belong to us. We are a part of it, and it's an important part of us, and a very important part that we ignore and we put off, and we treat it like a luxury when we get to go outside or camping or, you know, anything it may be. But really it's a necessity, because why does that make us feel better? Why does it make us charged? Because we get away from the garbage of the societal structure that we've been indoctrinated our entire lives.
We started out with a number. That'll tell you that. Where was I at in my brain?
Finding your power.
With finding your power, though, I really feel like it starts with you, parents. Your children that you bear into this world, they are not you. They are parts from you, but they are their own individual being that you are bringing into this world. And I think it's so important to not stifle their power at a young age.
Absolutely.
Let your children grow into who they are. Let them find the hobbies that bring them joy, and show nothing but love.
I see control everywhere, all over the world, and a lot of people, and people that I've been close to, and people I've encountered. control is the big word, especially coming from previous generations. And the facts are, you can't control everything around you, you know, and that's where love and trust and authenticity come into play. Like, it's important to allow people to find their own paths and be genuinely happy, you know, and that's what love is allowing others to be them and being happy in their direction because they can be.
Definitely.
I think, you know, it's a lot deeper than that, but that's a perspective I have that I've been on lately.
It is, because whenever you love and accept them for who they are, they can in turn find that within themselves as well. Children are very malleable. They don't have a lot of control whenever they're younger, and you are showing them how to, what's the word?
Self-control?
You're showing them how to live, really. Like, how...
I feel it's important to teach them self-control.
Yeah.
Because if you teach them, I'm always going to tell you what to do, I'm always going to, you know, this is how it's always going to be, then you're not really teaching them anything. You're teaching them how to listen and not how to think for themselves, not how to be their own individual in a positive way. And then maybe when it's time for them to be that person, they won't know how to develop it, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a place that we were both fortunate because we
had so
already
many,
knew.
Yeah. We had so many different sets of parents, and I see this a lot with, like, some of my friends. When you just have two parents your whole life, you get really well acquainted with their ways of the world. We had so many different sets that we saw so many different ways of being and living, and we were able to, from a young age, start developing how we wanted to live our lives when we got into our 20s and got on by ourselves.
No doubt.
So
I think we did a bang-up job of
Yeah.
becoming great people.
But also, a lot of parents, I believe, teach the world the way that it is right now, when the way the world was when I was born. I'm 27 years old. The world wasn't this way when I was born. So it's also being mindful that the world is going to change, and we all adapt, you know?
We're made to adapt.
Yes.
We're about as far off kilter as we could possibly be, I think, as a society right now, which is why it's good that we're having these conversations and we're being more realistic these days. And you see people understanding the holistic side of the world, that we were given everything that we need. Everything doesn't need to be so artificial. You know, you don't need microwaves and medicines to counteract the microwaves. You know, there's more to it.
There's an energy flow too.
Yeah.
You know, it's mind, body, and spirit. And like, I've worked in the medical side of healing, and now I work in the holistic side and spiritual side of healing. And
People are a lot happier on that side, aren't they?
yeah, even me. I had a bad gallbladder. It was supposed to be taken out a year ago. I don't have pain today. And what did I do? I started watching what I ate. I started listening to my body. I started Reiki healing treatments. I know whenever it starts to flare up how to handle it. I also bought, honestly, there's no medications for it either. Like, there's maybe one out there I heard of. But I bought this tincture, this holistic tincture, and I've been using that for months. And, like, I do not feel the pain. I'm gonna save my organ.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
I was so worried about you talking about that surgery.
I was scared
I'm glad
of
you found
getting
a better
it
way.
taken out, but like, I don't know. It also is a good indicator of when I'm not listening to my body. Whenever it flares up, I'm like, okay, I feel you. Like, all right, I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna take care of you.
Yeah, I got a little of that going on too. I'm not always best about it, but
Well, I think that's yeah.
doing the thing.
I'm doing
You
the
did
thing.
the thing.
I know.
She specifically told me a few videos back, like, I don't think we should like be like, well, this is a good end. I think we did this the last time too.
Yeah, we did.
Well, thank you guys for rejoining us.
Yeah.
Sorry we were gone for so long. We'll be back again soon, and much love and appreciation to you all, as always.
Love you guys.
You got the stick.
Oh. I got the stick. Oh, shit.
What? What? What's
I was
down there?
trying to joke that I dropped it, but
I knew you didn't. I saw it in your hand.
oh shit.